What's going on, everybody? Corey here, and a little bit late on the video. Last week was crazy. Last Sunday, I got married. Um, so it's just been a crazy week. So I didn't have a chance to record anything. And I don't really have anything really prepared. I'm going to be doing another creator spotlight, probably maybe the next video or the video after next. Another EDC, rate my EDC video here soon. Which I just need to go gather some stuff for that. But today I kind of wanted to talk about, because I don't think I've talked about it before, but really knowing your character, knowing your personality when you perform. And this comes from a place of seeing people who try to use, they try to script jokes that don't fit who they are, or script responses to hecklers that don't fit who they are. And I think I'm not huge on having a character. I think that you should always kind of amplify kind of yourself. One of the things that I discovered when I was in the magic shop is I like to be my personality to begin with. When I'm with friends, I like to relax. I like to tell stupid jokes. I like to have stupid comebacks. But I also like to kind of pick at people, find something about them, just kind of like point out like whatever happened. So if they said something weird, like I'm like used an incorrect word or just said something that's completely off the wall, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to circle back through it. So a lot of me, and I've said this before, and I think it even says on my website, is I'm gonna play with my audience. I'm gonna heckle them back. If you heckle me, like we're gonna have fun. We're gonna play. Nothing's meant to be. My goal isn't to go out and hurt people's feelings or anything. But we're gonna have a good time, and I want kind of like that banter going back and forth with people. So like if I ask someone to, do something and they don't do it right, or they mishear me and do something completely different, I'm going to pick on them for that. And that's kind of my personality type. So if something happens, I'm going to stick within that personality type. It's I'm not going to be like if a clown's tying balloons and a kid's being a mess, like, and a clown yells shut the fuck up. Like that's not going to that's not going to work. In my show that might work when I'm doing close-up or something, but I wouldn't really probably talk to my audience that way. But it's really knowing, occasionally I see these performances online and they're doing, whatever they're doing, and then all of a sudden, like, it's like their character breaks and they go into this whole other thing that doesn't fit. It's kind of like the whole thing with routining. Like, or even if you compare it to wrestling, like if you were to look at the Brooklyn Brawler, for example. Like, his name is the Brooklyn Brawler. He comes, out to the ring dressed like he's climbed out of a dumpster. You wouldn't expect to see chain wrestling out of him. You wouldn't expect to see a bunch of high-flying moves out of him. You'd expect brawling. You'd expect, like, street fight kind of work out of him. And I think, the same can be said true for magic. I think you've got to look at everything that you're doing. If you're doing street magic, but you're a stage magician that wears a tuxedo all the time, you wouldn't do that. You'd have a new you'd alter your persona to do that. So I don't know, just something to think about, because I do see performers that kind of forget who they are. I've seen kid performers like flip and say ridiculous things, or I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, my job is to make you forget that magic isn't real, and if that's from us having a good time, or whatever the case may be. But if we're having a good time and all of a sudden, like, I go serious, like, and serious, not like serious in a joking way, but like serious in like, ooh, it doesn't work. It's the same like if you're a Max Maven and you're doing like the serious, mentalism and everything kind of spooky and eerie, and then all of a sudden you break into like a comedy card routine. It doesn't work. It shatters. It shatters the glass. And I know some people don't care about that, but I think it's very important to, even if you are going, something that strays a little bit from what you do, is bringing it in and making it more yours. Um, and taking account in so many more things. Like, you see like a little kid, like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, pull out some like Okito box or, some kind of box and say, oh, when I went on a trip to China, I found an old wise man gave me this box. No one believes you went to China, kid. It's things like that. So really, like, know your character and don't like, you don't have to use the pattern that came with tricks. Like, that's never a fun thing to go with, because most of the stuff is very generically written. It's not even the stuff that maybe a performer uses half the time. Some might, but it's also have to realize that if John Archer releases something and it comes with a script, that script is something that fits his character, his style. So it's been a little bit of rambling today. Like I said, I didn't really have anything planned, but I wanted to talk a little bit about just knowing your character a little bit. The creator spotlight will probably be next week. I'm doing it on a pretty popular creator, and I need to go through and I want to get a few little points for some of their recent things on length of time for teachings and things like that. So, but yeah, that's kind of been today's ramble, or this week's ramble. I'm still recovering from last week, so there's that. But I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in and watching. I want to thank you for subscribing if you've subscribed. And, I would love to hear kind of your experience. If you have any experience where you've seen performers like totally pivot on who they are as a performer, as a character, and go into something completely wild. So, it's interesting to see. When you see it, it's one of those things where you're like, that's weird. Because even when I do mentalism, very rarely, like, I never play it off as like a big serious thing. Like, I'm a very laughy, jokey, I'm ribbing you, we're picking on each other, we're having fun, I'm telling you mama jokes, things like that, to my audience. So that's kind of how I am. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. So let's have a conversation in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any ideas for future videos, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, and that's another thing. I will be doing an update video on the Orphic wall. 6 months with the Orphic coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. But let's have some conversation down below, and we will see you in the next video.